Okay. Oh,
now we talked last year,
Brad?
yes.
and I'm going to get that out of the way. I didn't realize I was checking the bio. We spoke last year. I wrote a piece about you for blackfilm.com.
Yes.
I don't know if you had a chance to
Yes, actually, just took recap it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, so how have you grown since last year?
Well,
Tell us all about it.
I'm, living the married life, which, is great. Being in love. Skills for a living. What was I thinking?
So you get to apply to your character things that you didn't get to apply last year because you
Absolutely.
know your character in ways you didn't know it last year. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Well, there's absolutely sort of familiarity with the character and with the other Midnighters allows, I think, a more intimate way to tell our story. The solution in this, or rather the evolution of all our characters in this, is very much we show much more of their personalities because of their interactions. So it's not as much just the knowledge of Lem, but it's what Lem goes through that really you get to see. And that's what you see for all the Midnighters. So Fiji, Bobo, Creek, and Manfred, and us. It's sort of all the fantastical powers aside. Just simply trying to have a relationship is hard.
So you're a vampire, so obviously you can't relate to it that way. But what other ways do you relate with your character yourself?
Actually, that's the thing that we actually really try and do is no matter what your power is, it's your humanity that matters in our story. So it's really, he's a vampire, but he's a vampire trying to look after, a new relationship, trying to take care of his, buddy, angel buddy, who goes through crisis, and trying to protect the people he cares about. And that's really what this is. And there are twists that are going to surprise everybody, because something happens to him that you would never expect. Can't tell you more than that.
When you're one of the senior characters, how do you relate or feel you connect with the newcomers, both within the framework of the show
Right.
and you as an actor?
Well, the job, what I'm here to do is to play Lem and in the town of Midnight with the characters that we've grown to know. So it really is, what would you do if someone new came into your town? And that's really what this is. It just so happens that these people have powers that we're not familiar with, but they are new neighbors, and some of us want to take them in, some of us don't. Lem has a more sit and wait personality, tends to be quite cerebral, so he doesn't immediately dismiss them, but he doesn't trust them right away. It's always about it's about sort of how the interactions happen over time, and that is what evolves the relationship with the new characters.
But then with the actors, do you find yourself saying, no, that wouldn't be what the character would do in the framework of...
No, actually, I find we've got, they're fantastic, Nesta's fantastic, January's great, so really, they've added to the show. And I tend to think this is what works with this particular group. There's so much trust of each other. The tendency is you do what you do and we can react to it. So rather than shape it, it has allowed us to evolve the characters beyond the books. So the books gave us the framework of the characters, and our writers have given us great storylines, and that has helped sort of evolve who these characters really are for our audience.
Looking back at season 1, what was the most memorable scene to shoot, either on camera or off camera?
Oh my God, there were so many. It starts from the turning into a vampire, and that was pretty incredible. Sort of the episode to film. Along, of course, getting married. But there were so many, including the sort of being possessed by the veil and fighting, and the battle with Olivia as a result of. So yeah, there were so many moments, but definitely, starting from turning to vampire, that backstory, to getting married by the end of the season.
As I look at your picture here, with your eyes as the vampiric being that you are, do you find yourself acquiring some of those traits within your own personal life? Or who you are? You
Hell no.
yourself?
I think Len's been taking a lot of my character. That would be really strange. I don't know. My personality, I tend to sort of, and that's what I love about acting. Just dive in and do this thing, and then walk away, go do something else. And Lem's one of the fun characters to play. Because think about it, how do you play someone who's fundamentally dead and still trying to have relationships?
Do you foresee immortality eventually taking its toll mentally on Lem?
I think it already has, and I think hopefully I'm getting that across. But I think that's part of his, relationship with Olivia. It's like actually increased his humanity. There's a certain sort of very almost robotic nature to him, because he's seen it all before. But now he actually feels things he hasn't felt. That's why it works.
One of the things that's interesting about shows like this show in particular, something we talked about last year even, was that because they had changed the character to suit you and
right.
That these shows, there's a diversity of mythologies. There's also diversity of actors, background, cultures, and that seems to be adding more and more to these kinds of shows working. Do you think that's the case?
Absolutely. And one of the joys of fantasy is that it allows for a very sort of diverse way of looking at any character and any situation, which sometimes we're sort of more restricted if we were doing courtroom drama or a normal doctor show. So in this, we have to get to explore everybody in their diverse skin colors, outlooks, and still tell a story where the diversity isn't the issue. It's the story and the humanity that matters, and that's what's so great about fantasy.
If you had to visit Midnight, Texas as yourself, what would be your reactions? Would you hold a wedding there? Would you personally hold a wedding there?
Would I hold my wedding there at midnight?
Yeah.
The crazy issue would my wife let me? I mean, the skies are amazing. The backdrop is part of the character. But yeah, I'm a Londoner.
Have you learned about creatures you never thought about before?
Most certainly.
What's your favorite creature? Other than yourself, maybe. I don't know, maybe.
When you think about it, though, because I've often, it's the fact that, my best friends are a powerful witch, an angel, and a psychic is pretty cool.
Did it make you want to go and read other books and other mythologies?
Well, I was quite familiar with, especially because I'd worked on Charlene's True Blood prior to this. So sort of, mythological characters are a part of, I've always loved fantasy. It's just nice to be a part of this one.
Flower child and Olivia with me.
How would you describe season 2 without spoiling it for
Season
fans?
2 is accelerated. Everything in season 1 is accelerated and much more in depth. You're going to learn much more about the characters themselves and their relationships.
Kicking you out.
And I'm still getting beaten up by my wife.
On that note, let me get a quick picture.